Josh.
Chase.
Before we continue this podcast, I've got this package I absolutely have to get out.
Right now.
Immediately.
This second.
It's critically important.
You've got to go to Big Al's Pack and Ship.
Duh. How could I have forgotten? Our very first sponsor.
Yeah, and they'll ship it out any way you want, FedEx, DHL, or UPS.
And somebody told me Big Al's also has mailbox. Now, is that true?
They do. We should totally get one so we can be showered with gifts by our adoring fans.
100%. And they'll shred all of your important documents for you.
Thank God, so we can get rid of all this evidence before the FBI gets here in the morning.
That's absolutely true. And our NDAs that we have to get notarized.
We can get them notarized, too, after we fire all of our employees.
Of course, we're big on NDAs.
We sure are.
Yeah,
we sure are. And when it's time to move?
They've got you covered with U-Haul rental. Any U-Haul you want, and all the moving supplies to get you started.
Wow. They also offer copying, faxing, and greeting cards. They really are a one-stop shop.
We use them all the time with our business in the construction industry. They've notarized all of our construction documents and construction contracts.
This is a service that we both personally use. I ship guitars out and other musical equipment that I sell on occasion. Big Al's has always been really good to us.
No joke. So if you got something to ship out or any of those services that we talked about before, go see Big Al. He'll take care of you. Roan Road in Spruce Pine.
Big Al's Pack and Ship.
We give a ship. Yeah, dude, cats are an acquired taste.
They really are. They really are. What's up, everybody? We're just sitting here talking about kitty cats.
They are. I've gotten rid of one. I'm not. You know how you made away with that chicken?
Yeah,
I did that with a cat one time.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not.
Really?
I'm not proud of it. But it had pissed in my house
so much,
and I cannot do that.
Yeah.
That is the line for me. Like, listen, litter boxes are bad enough, but if you're pissing in just random places and like being territory, I couldn't do it no more.
Right.
It was in the middle of COVID. I couldn't get the thing fixed, and I just it went to the farm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. AKA somewhere.
It went to the farm. What's up, everybody? How's it going? We have had yet another assassination attempt on former President Trump's life.
They want him dead, Josh. I don't know how you come away from this one with any other conclusion. I really don't. Like, okay, you had one guy's head gets shot in the ear. Mm-hmm. Then you come back with the second one. The guy's hiding in the bushes. How in the world do you let this happen?
Well, Chase, they want him dead.
I think they want him dead.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how anybody could actually,
conclude otherwise.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I've been keeping up less and less with politics lately because I have, I guess, election fatigue.
Yeah, I think everybody does.
I am so over it. I'm so over it. I'm so over all the photo ops, the fake staged crap that I see from the Harris Walz campaign. Everything's a photo op for them. It's all fake. It's all so dumb.
And quite frankly, if I have to hear, I'm the best. The best there ever was.
That's what I was getting ready to say. I keep, and I'm equally sick of the insanity coming from Trump's camp too.
I will be honest with you. I listened to him on Gutfeld the other day.
Yeah.
They had him as a panelist on Gutfeld. That might have been the most personable I've seen. He was funny. He was funny. I think I think where he's done that game show thing for so long, that was a familiar thing for him. And he came across as much more of like a human being rather than just this guy that says the same thing over and over again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
He was witty. He was quirky. He busted a couple jokes. They were busting his chops. He was ribbing him a little. Yeah, it actually worked.
Wow.
But, yeah, other than that, that was the most refreshing I've seen him in a while.
Okay.
But he was like, they said that I lost the debate. I thought it was a great debate. I thought it was the greatest debate. You're like, oh, come on.
It's like, dude.
Come on. You stunk that one up, buddy.
He did.
But hold on. I want to go back to this assassination thing, okay? Now, you follow me, and I want you to tell me if I'm wrong here.
All right.
So this guy was in a BlackRock commercial.
We're talking about the first one.
No, I'm talking about the second guy. They both were in a BlackRock commercial. This guy,
I did not know that.
So this guy had apparently been over to Ukraine trying to recruit people. Was like obsessed with like Ukraine. They had him in a couple videos where he was on a college campus trying to recruit people to go to Ukraine. I'm just looking for people that think outside of the box and want to go like fight or whatever. And then there's a I think it was the Free Syrian Army had him in one of their videos. Guess who the Free Syrian Army is, Josh?
Oh my God!
That was the group that was the CIA was funding to overthrow Bashar al-Assad in Syria.
Yeah, I know.
He's over in Ukraine. The Ukrainian army is filming him, and he's giving this whole thing. We just need people to come over here and fight or whatever. He went over there on his own fruition. Number one, how the hell do you? If I was like, I'll tell you what I'm doing. I need a plane. I need a plane ticket to Kiev.
Kiev right now. Right. Good luck with that.
Good luck with that. And if you actually get one, you are going to be on the Fed's radar, 100%.
Okay, so did he get a plane ticket into Kiev, or did he?
That's a good question. That could have been the case, but I'm just
travel
saying,
to Europe and then go there.
Okay, so he's pro Ukraine war. He's pro overthrow of Bashar al-Assad. I'm not saying that he's a Fed plant, but I'm saying
he's glowing.
What the hell?
They both glowed. Oh, but Chase, the first one was a Republican. Did you know that? He was a registered Republican. He was a registered Republican.
I don't get it. How do you come? What's so funny is how do you come across? How do you come away with it with any other conclusion? Somebody, please tell me I'm wrong.
Okay. So everything is so absurd now. The general public still eats this up and doesn't. And I don't know if it's the news cycle is so fast, our attention span is so short. Maybe it's a combination of all these things.
Yeah.
But like the first assassination attempt happened at least 6 years ago now.
It feels like it.
It feels like it in news cycle timeline.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's done and over with. That's move on to the next one.
Yep.
Oh, look, a squirrel. The second attempt again is already being buried. I've seen too that people are saying that wasn't even. They don't even know that was an attempt. He was just a guy. He was just there. We don't know.
Just a guy hiding in the bushes
with a gun, with a rifle,
with a rifle, 300 yards away from him.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're the CIA or the let's just call them the deep state for sake of argument, like he calls them, or like that side calls them. If you're the deep state, you've gotten pretty good at this over the years. It's not your first go around with this type of stuff.
Yes, but okay, we now live in a much different time. See, the last time they tried this shit, there was no internet. There was no communication infrastructure like there is now. Yeah. Well, I mean, and here's another thing too. They usually, the deep state and the CIA, the feds, whatever you want to call it, the establishment, the uniparty, they do this shit in third world countries where no one gives a shit and there's no attention.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, they're blatantly doing this out in the open now. Like there's no questioning what's going on, but still, people, the general public, are off in la-la. They're in Toonland. They're spoon-fed this narrative by CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, whichever one it is. It doesn't matter. And that's they all. And that's why I'm so disenfranchised. I think, or disillusioned.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But I think this guy gets Lee Harvey Oswald any day now.
I can't believe he's still alive. Like how they didn't just like, and I mean that's what they did with the last shooter. I mean, how does anybody attempt an assassination on a president or ex-president and live to tell about it and expect to live to tell about it? Like, how is this dude still alive?
I don't know, but I'm interested to know what he has to say. Now, whether he'll ever actually say it is a whole different story.
I think he will say it, but will it be released for the public? That's the question. I mean, generally, these types of people that commit these acts are usually they leave a manifesto.
Right.
Like they want to be
Right.
known as the person,
Right.
you know, this guy was a patriot.
Both of these guys seem like people that the feds have gotten to me.
Sure.
Because how hard they have a history of doing this. Think about this. Think back about how many like just useful idiots they have employed in there. Even a lot of stuff with that. What was the? Oh. Anyway, I can't think of it now. But there's been 1,000 times when the feds have basically just conned people into doing. Oh, the assassination attempt on that governor.
Yeah.
In Michigan. Remember they ended up just arresting
Gretchen Whitmer.
Yeah, and they're like,
They were all
what are
feds.
you talking about?
Every fucking one of them was fed.
Except the ones
for like one
and the ones
or
that
two.
weren't was just some guy that they've been like, what are you talking about? I thought I didn't come up with this, and they blamed it all on him. He's like, what? He's like, I was just here for the party.
Dare I say Ray Epps?
Yeah, Ray Epps too. Same deal.
Everything is.
It's just and they're not doing a good job of covering their tracks. Honestly,
They don't have to. They don't have to, Chase, because people like us get called conspiracy theorist nut jobs, and you know, apparently, to a large swath of the population, we're right wing, I'm the farthest thing from right wing, but
I'm not either.
I know. But
all I'm doing is taking in information with my own eyes and my own ears.
no, you can't do that.
And thinking with my own brain.
Don't believe what your eyes.
You can't do that.
You can't do that. That is not right. That is not the dude. Okay. Did you see the video where now we've had Tim Walz? Is that his name?
Yeah.
And who else was it? Who else? There was another one. Another person. This person's actually in a position of power now, calling for state censorship and prosecuting criminally disinformation. They said this on national TV.
Can you find that?
Yeah, I'll send it.
I'd like to see it. I'd like to see this.
I'll send this to you, Noah. I'm gonna send it in the. Let me see.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Disinformation according to who? Is my question.
That's the problem.
Nobody ever asked that question on the back end. It's disinformation according to who, and by what metric are you using to view this? That's a good point, Matt. People are voting for Trump or not Trump or not Kamala. They're not actually voting, I don't think, for the candidates either. I think that's a great point. I think some people are, but I do think there's a lot of people they'll be pulling the lever for either.
Yeah, I do too. I know a large swath of people who are doing all three. I know people who are like, I'm with her, and I know people who are like MAGA, and I know people who are like, they both suck, but I'm gonna vote for whoever my party is. And I'm like, well, that's a terrible idea.
Josh Brown says a friend of mine flew over to a neighboring country and then drove into Ukraine. Yeah, you're absolutely correct on that. But I would say that the feds or somebody's keeping pretty good tabs of who's in and out of that country. Yeah, second guy's from North Carolina. You're right, Rebecca. Mm-hmm. Greensboro. Mm-hmm. No wonder. No wonder. Of course it's Greensboro.
If I can find the actual clip.
Did the second assassination guy actually get to shoot at Trump, or did he just get...
I don't think he did. They saw the barrel, somehow by a miracle, saw the barrel of the gun sticking out of the bushes, I guess, and recognized it, and they opened fire first, I think. I believe that's the case.
I'm shocked Trump even goes out of his house.
Well, they were talking about, apparently that had been on the table the last time, that barring him from doing outdoor rallies anymore.
Yeah, well, that's probably not a bad idea.
I'm telling you right now, if I was him, I would be hammering this as hard as I possibly can. I'm like, they are trying to kill me. You need to get out there and vote or they're going to kill my ass. That would be my whole campaign right now. That'd be it.
Yep. My God, I can't even find the video. Like I've literally searched on YouTube for Tim Walz free speech gaffe. I've searched for free speech news segment, and it's all just it's propaganda. It is all, none of it's negative. None of it. I can't even find the video anymore.
I started to say you may have a hard time finding that because they
Son of a bitch.
searches don't readily show you negative things about Kamala
Let me
or him.
DuckDuckGo. That used to work pretty good. DuckDuckGo did. Sorry, I'm so much downtime, but oh my God, I wish I would have thought about it and pulled this up earlier. Gavin Newsom, yeah, Holly, that's the one. Gavin Newsom has introduced legislation, or is oh, sorry.
Oh, you're all good. Yeah, it's a little better. Whoops. Of course, kicking the drinks across the room.
Kicking beers and having fun.
Kicking beers and having fun.
Okay, here, I think I found it. I did. Well, I thought I did. My God. It is incredibly hard to find. All right, Noah. I'm going to send this to you in the... No, that's not it. That's not the same video. Oh, my God. I can't find it now. It's forever gone. It
they
is.
buried that one, baby.
I've seen it 50 million times, too, like, show up in my suggested shorts, but... Wow.
Goodness gracious.
But it was bad. It was a really, really bad
She didn't
thing.
have a really good interview either. In her second interview, she did. I think it was with NBC or one of them. It was not good. She kind of bumbled around, and they sort of buried that one too real quick. But I am interested to say. I'll be 100% honest with you, though, Josh. This is the truth. I am surprised that it's at not at more of a fever pitch than it is.
I know.
I really am. Honestly, I'm kind of shocked that it's not. If you would have asked me last year what this country would be like in September 2024, I'd be like, oh, we'll be burning each other to the ground.
Yeah, I agree with you.
All right.
Noah, I found it. I found the video. Open up the email.
Okey-dokey.
That's the only way I can send it to you, I think, because, yeah. Oh, that sucks.
What email?
I just opened up Gmail. Sorry, everybody. All right, Noah, is it on mine or is it on the Hollercast?
I don't see it quite yet. Let me swap to the Holocast one.
Yeah, swap to the Hollercast. That's where I'm sending it. All right, I sent it.
All right.
Pull that up, Jamie.
Let's see this sucker.
I've not seen it yet.
Refresh it.
I am.
Yeah.
There it is.
Tim Wall says that misinformation is not guaranteed free speech. And I think he says hate speech, too. I'm sorry, but they both are. You have a constitutional right to be wrong. Okay. Bring it up on the screen share for us there, Noah. No. That's not the right one. No, that's the right video. It needs to stay on that screen and hit the screen share button. There we go.
All right, there we go. Boom. You got it.
There we go.
Oh, I'm here too. Oh.
and our mystery guest.
Our mystery guest, the invisible guest.
Welcome in. It's good to have you here. Value your commentary.
It's good to be here.
Go ahead. Let's see.
To push back on this. There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy.
Are you fucking kidding me? Go back and play it again.
I think we need to push back on this. There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy.
There absolutely is.
There absolutely fucking is.
Yeah, there is.
Because it's the Constitution and the First Amendment guarantees those rights to that kind of speech.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. 100%.
Play it again.
I think we need to push back on this. There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy.
Especially around our democracy. Especially around our democracy. There's no guarantee to free speech around.
Might I remind Mr. Walls that the ACLU fought for the rights of neo-Nazis to protest. Nazis.
Yeah.
Straight up Nazis.
100%.
Not neo-Nazis. Straight up Nazis.
Yeah. And they have that right.
They absolutely have that right, which I would argue is absolutely hate speech.
100%.
Which is absolutely protected under the Second Amendment.
It is.
It absolutely is.
The only thing that isn't is calls to violence.
That's it.
That's it. That's it.
Mr. Walls needs to go read his
Mr. Walls
Constitution.
can fuck right off with that. 100%.
That's pretty bad.
100%.
That is a giant gaffe.
Yeah. That wasn't a gaffe. He obviously believes that, or at least wants that to be normalized.
I think we should push back on this.
I think so too, because there absolutely is a guarantee to free speech, even if it's misinformation and hate speech, especially if it's hate speech,
Right.
because it doesn't protect speech, just speech that you like and that I like.
It's very disturbing that people in prominent roles of leadership in this country actually believe stuff like that.
It is terrifying. It is terrifying.
And again, I'm not for hate speech.
No.
I'm also not for giant misinformation campaigns either. That doesn't matter. That's the point of the First Amendment.
You know who engages in giant misinformation campaigns more than any
The government
on the face of the planet is the United States government.
So
The machine that he wants so badly to be a part of.
right.
The machine that he already is arguably a part of.
That is disturbing, to say the least. Very
That
disturbing.
boils my blood. Like, that legitimately makes me angry.
Just says he can fuck right off.
He can. Rebecca says all the way off. Absolutely all the way off. And how anyone can vote for that is beyond me. That's
Pretty disturbing. Again, if I was Trump, I would take that and put that on every campaign
Everything.
video I had.
Yeah, everything. But Trump won't do that because whoever Trump has hired, and this is Trump's biggest problem, it's who he surrounds himself with and hires to work for him. Excuse me. We saw it in his first administration when he hired a whole bunch of swamp people that were disgusting.
Yep.
And we knew they were swamp people. And I'm like, I'm an idiot from North Carolina and Spruce Pine. If I know they're a swamp creature, he knows they're a swamp
You
creature.
got to know they are. Do you think part of that was him just trying to appease
Play
the
ball.
Republican base?
It was.
Republican.
Well, I think it was him trying to appease the Republican Party and the swamp. Really?
Yeah.
I think he had to play ball to a certain degree to accomplish what he wanted to, even for the chance for a second, attempt at running. But
See what Josh Brown sent.
yeah, I did. I did.
Here, I'll have to send that to Laura. I'm not going to say that on here, but I want to bring
Why
up
not?
some old shit.
Yeah, I know. I guess you saw the cease and desist letter that was sent to a local man who owns a Facebook page by him. No one on the video knows what we're talking about, so we'll talk about this after the stream.
No, I don't. I'm not aware of this.
Yeah. Sorry about that, everybody. Sorry. But anyway, Rebecca said, okay, let's go back. Holly, yes, Gavin Newsom. I think Gavin Newsom has introduced legislation. Let me check that out real quick. About misinformation. Misinformation bill in California of all places. Gavin, yeah, okay, so this was 2 days ago. This is on gov.ca. This is California's website. Governor Newsom signs bills to combat deepfake election content. Safeguarding the integrity of elections is essential to democracy, and it's critical that we ensure AI is not deployed to undermine the public's trust through disinformation. I agree with that, actually. AI is off 100%. I don't think deepfakes are ever good. Especially in today's fraught political climate, these measures to help combat the harmful use of deepfakes in political ads and other content, one of several areas in which the state is being proactive to foster transparent and trustworthy AI. If it's different, to me, if it's regulating AI, I'm almost okay with that, actually.
You think?
If it's regulating people's speech, that's different. But I guess you could make the argument that even like AI deepfakes would be protected speech.
I don't know. That's using like somebody's name, image, and likeness. I think that's probably protected under.
That is that, but with that would be like libel.
Yeah, or
that
something.
Would be protected under some kind of civil something.
Or using what would that false pretenses or something? You know what I mean? Now, I think you make obviously you can make a case that some of that is parody, but if you're trying to pass that off as if that's that person saying that, I mean, that's where Joe Rogan's suing people over that. I'm not sure what his actual complaint is.
Right.
What the actual law?
But that's a civil matter, not a criminal matter, and this is making it a criminal matter, which is, I guess you could argue, unconstitutional.
Well, I mean, in certain cases, I guess it would be. It would be obtaining. Or
in political ads, they use the other candidates, the opponents' name and likeness anyway.
Well, and right, but it's actually them saying what they said. I mean, they can't just take it. If it was a deep fake and it was like, let's say it was, let's say Donald Trump made one of Kamala Harris, a complete deep fake saying, that's probably a criminal matter because you're trying to pass somebody's name, image, and likeness off with something they didn't actually say. You know?
I mean, that happens.
So it'd be libel. It would be libel, wouldn't it? Or
I don't know.
Slander?
I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, obviously. I don't know.
It'd be interesting. That's a whole... We got to get a lawyer in here to talk about that.
We do. See, that's a whole nother can of worms when you get AI involved. I don't know. That's a great question.
Well, it's a whole can of worms, for sure.
It is. This is why AI is such a bad idea. And just another nail in the coffin for AI. Right. It is not a good thing.
I don't know if you're going to stop it, though.
No, there's no stopping it. There's no stopping it.
I can see the government trying to address this awfully in the coming years. The Department for Artificially Intelligent... the responsible use of artificial intelligence or something like that, which will probably be good, but they'll create some giant bloated...
The DOAI.
Yes. They'll create something giant and overwhelming to steal more of your rights and instead of actually get at the real problems like they are wonderful at doing.
I would argue that they intentionally do.
I think you might be right.
Because if government actually solved problems...
this is an argument I had with another libertarian, somebody that was kind of on the other side of the aisle. I think government... Both things can be true. Government, by its nature, gets bloated. It just
bureaucracy does. Period.
Yes.
Whether it's government or corporate, it doesn't matter.
It bloats on its own. So both things can be true. Sometimes I think it might be intentional, but just the nature of creating government, anything, oversight, anything. It's going to get bloated eventually. That's what it does. It spends more of your money and never gives any of it back, and never gives any of the power back that you give it in the first place.
Never. The only way power is ever gotten back is generally through
revolution,
bloody revolution.
It's just the truth.
It is.
Just the truth.
Yeah, I don't know. I am so disheartened by all of it. I don't think Trump's going to win. I don't think, even if Trump won, I don't think he would be the answer that everybody wants him to be. I think he would probably steer the country in a marginally better direction, but that would be it. Just like it would be just like 2016 to 2020 all over again.
They're gonna just still man him again and basically do everything.
Well,
they can.
Not still man him. They're gonna railroad
checkmate him.
Railroad him. Yeah. It's
still man's not the right word for that.
And even if even not, I mean, he's going to surround himself with people who are going to screw him over, just like he did last time. That was one of the, I heard a friend say this during the pandemic, and it really was true. It's like, I voted for Donald Trump, not for Anthony Fauci. Why is Anthony Fauci running the country?
That's a great point. I do think maybe he at least has the potential to do some things. I think there's some real low hanging fruit that he intentionally didn't go after the last time, because I think he was trying to sort of
leave himself some room to say, I'm going to do this later.
Right. I do think, and he's a lame duck president just by taking office. So he doesn't get another 4 years. He's already had his first 4 years. So maybe he can do some things, like if he really does, legalize marijuana.
Or at least decriminalize
it. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
I think that would win over. And I could never figure out why he didn't do that the last time. If I was him, the first thing I would have done is done that on day one. And think about how many friends you would have won yourself.
Well, dude, if he's going to deregulate abortion on a federal level, why would that not be the next logical conclusion? Would be to deregulate marijuana on a federal level and leave it up to the states. If the states can decide if a baby gets killed or not, they can surely decide who gets to smoke weed.
Here's what I would do. I would argue, this is what I would do. I would legalize it nationally.
Yeah.
And then any states that anybody that wants to do that, I would use some of those proceeds, and I would at least.
Can you legalize it nationally, or can you just decriminalize it?
I don't know. That's a good question, but I would somehow make it to where the revenue for that would flow into a fund that would also be used to fight the
Ukraine war.
Fentanyl.
I'm just kidding.
That's after the 4 years. That's what it'd be used for. But I would make an argument to fight the opioid crisis. Yeah, and fentanyl.
I wonder, just me thinking out loud, how much of the noise you hear about the anti-drug movement not wanting to legalize it is cartel inspired. Even the people who don't realize it are parroting cartel talking points so they can keep their stranglehold on the illicit drugs.
Buddy, there's a lot of things that don't make sense to me. I think there's a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think we see it even in I think these cartels are more like the modern day mafia than anything else. I think you'd be shocked.
I think they're more like modern day governments, personally.
Let me throw a little something at you. You ever wonder why Mexican restaurants do so well in this area?
Well,
I'm just throwing it out there. You ever wondered why the Puerto Nuevo burnt down in Banner Elk and nothing else burnt in that entire building?
No, I haven't.
And guess who owns that building, Josh?
Who?
People with... How do I say this carefully? People with reasons to be reasonably suspicious that they are connected to other organized crime.
Okay. See, I don't know.
things.
I don't know. I'm
not naming names.
allegedly.
Allegedly. Also, this is all allegedly, and I'm not calling out Puerto Nuevo. It's a great restaurant. By the way, go eat there. We'd love to have you as a sponsor. I will gladly give you a sponsorship. But seriously, I mean, you need to ask yourself, like, I start looking around. Me and Laura were talking about this earlier this year. I start looking around and I'm like,
why is there 14 Mexican restaurants?
Some of these things are very strange.
in a town with a population of 2,000 people. Huh. Now, I do think...
Don't get me wrong. Mexican food's great. It's
amazing.
Fucking great. And
it's the best. We love Mexican food. It is really good.
It's the best Mexican food. Some might say it's the best food.
I think there was a restaurant in Johnson City that got busted for being a front for cartel members several years ago. That's when I lived there. I think I heard that.
Successful restaurants, I would imagine, if it's a quote-unquote successful restaurant, which you have to do good. Don't get me wrong now. Puerto Nuevo does a hell of a business.
They do it right.
Now, they do it right. Now, I'm not saying... I'm just saying... I called them out specifically, but that being said, there's 14 other ones that you could say the exact same thing. I'm just using that as a placeholder. I have no idea at all. I'm just saying. I'm going to get myself in fucking trouble.
Yeah,
oh, my God. I might have said too much.
You said too much.
I said the quiet part out loud.
You did. Okay, so let's get caught up on the chat here. All right, Rebecca. Oh, yeah. Okay. So we'll go back to time to get fact-checked. Gavin Newsom, yeah. All the way off. Okay, Holly says the NC House passed the Shalom Act to enshrine anti-Semitism definition into state law. That is a terrible thing. That's a terrible idea. Again, that is hate speech. That's unconstitutional. I'm sure the Republicans ate that up, though, because the Republicans have a huge Israel problem. Just saying.
Yep.
They've got a big blind spot for Israel. Which,
listen, I've explained this to a couple of people too, because people go ballistic. That's like one of those things you don't talk about. It's like we support Israel no matter what.
No,
you
we
realize
don't.
What kind of statement that is?
No, we don't. I don't support
what you're
anybody
trying to
no
say.
matter
What you're trying to say is that you support your religious views of Israel as a the Jews as a people.
Sure. That's what they.
That is not the same.
But it's being equated with the government, the Israeli government.
So this might be a great idea. Meanwhile, the feds here are can't cover up shit and can't even kill a guy running away from trying to shoot the president. Meanwhile, Mossad
is blowing up
pagers and radios.
Yeah, twice
en masse.
En masse. Yeah, and tell me that's not an act of terrorism.
It's the most James Bond-esque shit I've ever heard in my entire life. Number one. Number two, I think there's a great case. I think this is a great. There's a great case to be argued that that's terrorism.
Yeah. Sure.
Very cunning and very. But here would be my counterpoint. I'll still man my what I just said. Mm-hmm. They're always going on about Israel. It's like, well, you can't just blanket bomb people. You can't just go in there and destroy it, blah, 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 blah. Well, how more targeted does it get than blowing up pagers that are attached to that are only given to the fighters for Hezbollah?
Right. And make no mistake, Hezbollah is a terrorist organization, 100%.
I think there's also a great case to be made that that's the most targeted way you could go about it, and there happen to be people caught in the crossfire, but it's better than leveling whole city blocks, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Tell me I'm wrong.
No, I agree with you. I agree with that 100%.
But that is some next level shit.
That sets up.
How in the world did they do that? I know. That's what's scary, is we each have one.
We've got a bomb in our pockets at all the time.
Okay, so here's my question. I've heard, and I don't know that it's came out exactly, unless something's changed the last 24 hours. I did try to find this last night. How they actually pulled this off. They were thinking that one of two things happened. That they download at first. I think they were thinking it was malware that caused the phone to heat up. But here's the problem: is a lithium-ion battery begins to smoke long before it blows up.
Right.
It would be very difficult to take just a regular lithium-ion battery that's in your phone or in your laptop or anything else and trigger it with malware quick enough to where you wouldn't notice and throw the thing out.
Right. And a lot of times
and they're not going to all go at the same time.
They're not.
Either.
Your lithium-ion batteries are also going to.
So somewhere,
pillow.
Yes, yeah. I've had one do it. I had a laptop battery that did it.
Remember Noah, your tablet? Do you remember? I don't know if you remember that happening or not, but it did happen. Yeah, he had.
Was it an RCA tablet?
Was an RCA
yes,
tablet.
I had the same thing,
and it went.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So, what I think the latest, and again, unless it's changed in the last like 24 hours or whatever, that they had somehow either replaced. So these pagers were ordered from Taiwan. They somehow intercepted the shipment and replaced it with, this is what the latest thinking was, that they replaced it with the exact same looking pagers with the exact same branding and everything on them from a company that made these things in Hungary. So somewhere between Taiwan and Palestine, they got these in Hungary.
Lebanon, right? That was
Lebanon. Yeah. Sorry, Lebanon.
Yeah.
But so somehow they got it and replaced it all with things that had many explosive devices in them.
Yeah. Okay.
And then also a shipment of radios that they did yesterday.
See, that makes more sense than they hacked into their page.
Right. But still, like that's crazy.
How
that
do you?
did that.
I mean, I don't know. I'm coming at this from a place of ignorance
Yeah.
because I'm not a hacker. I'm not a programmer. I don't know any of this shit. But how do you hack a pager? A pager seems to me.
Well, the reason
it is technically a digital device, but it seems very analog for digital devices.
Yeah. I think you watch Crystal and Saga, right?
Yeah.
What's the other one? The Counterpoint. What's his name? And
the other team, I don't remember.
the one that everybody else says is hot. Look this up, Noah. Look up Breaking Points.
She is hot.
Breaking Points. Pager explosions.
And Crystal Ball's insufferable. I'm sorry, I don't like Crystal Ball.
They go over this in the short video. Go on YouTube.
Yeah, I just don't know how that happens. The fact, the idea that they intercepted the shipment and replaced it with pagers that had explosive devices in it makes way more sense to me. All right, I'm going to read up on the chat while you're doing that. Okay. Rebecca's Questify. Rebecca says it sucks that we're in a critical swing state, and I don't like either candidate. I just can't believe we're still here. This is the best America could do, for fuck's sake, right? Yeah, it is. It is.
Laura's gonna kill me for ruining our
I saw
relationship with the best.
A giant douche or a turd
out.
sandwich every 4 years. Josh Brown says that it would. It sounds like it would fall under current libel laws. Okay, we're going back to talking about the AI stuff. Holly says in December 2018, the Farm Bill was signed into law. It removed hemp, defined as cannabis sativa, and derivatives of cannabis with extremely low concentration of the psychoactive compound delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol, THC, no more than 0.3% THC on a dry weight basis from the definition of marijuana and the Controlled Substance Act, CSA.
So, Josh, what you were saying, Joshua Brown, supply chain interference. So, supposedly, and this is covered in that video, and maybe you want to pull it up. Go ahead and pull it up. But if I remember correctly, what they were saying is that somehow Hezbollah.
Mute that and play the ad there. Just let it play.
Hezbollah had a couple months back, the Hezbollah leadership had handed down an order that they were all to get rid of their cell phones because they were being hacked at a
and that's when they went to pagers.
And that's when they went to pagers. And apparently there was a mass order, and somehow they found out about that. So Mossad probably had a mole in there that found out that this was going to be happening, and then that's the way it was done. Sure. But yeah, see, how long is that video? About 22 minutes. Go about a quarter of the way into it, and let's watch from there. Okay. Right there. Stop it right there. That's good. Let's watch it. Because this kind of tells. Go ahead.
use them.
Right.
And so somehow Israel got inside the supply chain from
Okay,
Taiwan.
go back just a little bit. We're a little bit further. A little bit. Right there. Yep. That's perfect.
Sent out a message saying, cell phones, you guys are using your cell phones in a sloppy, OPSEC manner, and
That's
they
what I
have
was just
become
saying.
too much of a risk.
Right.
Stop with the cell phones. We need to go back to the basics, and we need to use handwritten notes. We need to use couriers. We need to use pagers.
Exploding pigeons.
Around that time, and this is according to a lot of the reporting that's coming out of
They tried to
the
make a pigeon
region,
bomb
and
one time.
according to the New York Times, they used a
Project Pigeon.
Taiwanese company for this. Hezbollah ordered more than 3,000 pagers to implement this new OPSEC policy.
The biggest
that
pager
Nasrallah
order
had
in
suggested.
the last 10 years.
Probably not, because maybe hospitals are ordering. I imagine that pagers are ordered in bulk because individual consumers aren't really ordering pagers anymore.
Yeah.
If you're ordering them, it's because you have a system-wide situation. You're going to force people to use them.
Right.
Right.
And so somehow Israel got inside the supply chain from Taiwan into Lebanon, and it appears that they were able to install some small amount of explosive, and they were able to also then tamper with the pagers such that they could remotely trigger them. Initially, there was some thought that they had sent in malware that had raised the temperature of the lithium batteries until they exploded. But if you watch that clip again, you'll see just a sudden explosion. And if it were just a battery heating up, you would feel it getting very hot.
Sure. Yeah.
And some of them, they would just smoke. That's how these crazy malfunctioning cell phones blow up. They smoke for a while and then they blow up.
That is
These,
wild.
Boom, just blew up.
Right.
Look at
What
that.
the reporting also says, and this is extra diabolical, is that the message had the pagers pinging, like making a noise, beep, 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 for a significant amount of time before they exploded, so that the people thought that there was a message from Hezbollah leadership. And so
is
you're seeing
next
an
So they
enormous
would
number
pick it
of
up.
injuries, more than 3,000 so far.
That's crazy.
Including
Wow.
11 dead at this point, including 2 children, because if this pager were in my house, for instance, and I was a Hezbollah operative, my kids might be playing with it.
Well, you can see actually if we can even roll A1 again, if you're looking at it, they're surrounded at a market in this
Right.
case, and you can see 2
Like
little
those 2
girls.
people right there.
There's 2 little girls
Yeah.
on the other side of the fruit
Right.
cart. So there are a lot of details about exactly how this was
Interesting.
initiated and with what potential
Interesting.
precautions. Who knows? Doesn't look like, obviously, when you see 2 little girls standing around across from the pager explode. So far, it seems pretty logical. You can understand how children were affected by this. Now, Ryan, the Taiwanese company.
Oh, but just to finish what I'm saying,
Yeah.
that's why there's so many people went blind, and so many people lost their hands because it appears that they were like looking at it like and they're like, what's wrong with this, and then it blows.
Now, the Taiwanese company, to your point about the supply chain, is saying actually that they made a deal with a Hungarian company that they would use, the Hungarian company would just use the Taiwanese company's branding, but they were in charge of these pagers, and they're saying, these are not our pagers.
see.
The Taiwanese company is saying, these are not our pagers. These are, in
Right.
fact, these
not
came
good
from a
for business
Hungarian
if you're
company.
the Taiwanese company. Yeah.
Well, now, or the Hungarian company. But that does
That's good, Noah.
add a wrinkle to how this might have
Yeah.
been.
That's.
Is that not the craziest shit you've ever heard in your life?
I am really tired of having the conversation. Is this not the craziest shit we've ever heard in our life? Are you not tired?
Oh, I'm 100% tired of it, but I don't know, man. That is wild to me. That's some real movie,
That is.
some movie stuff.
That's some Hollywood stuff for sure.
Got to give it to Mossad and all them, dude. They are stealthy.
That's crazy.
I mean, you can, again, both can be true. I got mad respect for you doing that. And also, like, question it on a moral level. Like, boy, that's skirting the line of terrorism. I mean, it really is.
Well, but it's like you said.
But again, they're
it's
doing it
way more
against
targeted.
Yeah.
It's way more targeted, and there's a lot less. There was obviously some collateral damage. There's going to be, no matter what you do in war. but there was a lot less.
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying that was good or bad.
Well, if I'm Israel, that's exactly what I'm saying. I'm like, all y'all do is bitch us out for blowing up city blocks, and now we try to blow up their pagers and kill the guys individually of a known terrorist organization, and now you're gonna give us crap for that.
Well, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not gonna make a value judgment on it, but I see both sides there a little bit.
Because says we did it back in Vietnam, wore fake bullet cartridges, the enemy, and exploded. Yeah,
I'm interested to know everybody's thoughts, though. What you think about this?
It reminds me a lot of the fake portholes and bunkers in World War II.
Yeah, where you throw it in and it comes
right back
yeah.
at your feet. The pages remind me of the 2014 movie Kingsman: The Secret Service. I've never seen that movie. Have you?
I haven't seen it. I've heard a lot of people say good things about it.
What a time to be alive.
That's crazy.
What a time to be alive. Yeah, I don't know. I really stayed off Twitter the past few days because Twitter anymore is just like rage inducing, and I just don't want to. I don't want to.
So going along, I did have one other thing to show you about what we were going over with Tim Walsh about.
Oh yeah,
free
yeah.
speech.
Okay.
Yeah. I know it. Pull it up.
Yeah.
Should have sent all this before. But
right. Well,
we were running on a crazy day.
We were running on a crazy day. We were. It is. Hey. Free speech and the First Amendment does not just cover and guarantee speech that we like. In fact, I would say, and I've heard a lot of people make the argument that it was created solely for speech that isn't liked, unpopular speech, hated speech, hate speech even. I don't like hate speech. I don't condone hate speech. I think hate speech is terrible. Hate speech is wrong. But we have a constitutional right to be wrong. Misinformation is wrong. A lot of people spout misinformation. I hear it and see it every day that don't know they're doing it. That makes them immediately criminals. Yeah. If any legislation like that gets passed. Yeah. We have a constitutional right to be wrong. Okay.
So let me set this up for you.
All right.
So this is one of Dave Smith's friends, he's a fellow libertarian, a Free Stater guy, New Hampshire guy.
Right.
So he said something to the effect of, and it really doesn't matter what he said, but it is. But I think he said something to the effect on Twitter. He had written that if somebody was to actually shoot and kill Kamala, there would be people on the right. This was in the context of a broader situation. There would be people on the right that would celebrate, just like there would be people on the left
that would celebrate.
Jack Black's guy was like, "Don't miss next time." Like
the majority of my friends that are left leaning would 100% celebrate.
Oh, 100%
if Trump got killed.
100%. So he was trying to point out the hypocrisy on both sides or whatever. Right. So he makes this comment. This is what happens to him. Go ahead and pull this up, Noah. So he gets paid a little visit here. So go ahead.
Oh, this. I saw
by the Secret Service, I'd say.
By
is the FBI?
The FBI, I think it is. So let's play this. So it's a little shaky at first, but
yeah. How are you? Who are you? I'm Major O'Donnell with the FBI. Can you give your full name, please? Major O'Donnell with the FBI. Is that sufficient to identify as the only one O'Donnell affiliated with the FBI? In New Hampshire, yes. Could you please state your full name, sir? Could you please stop recording? No. It's First Amendment right. What's your name, sir? Could you stop recording? Absolutely not. You can show me your name and identification, or I'm going to go back inside my house. Okay. I don't really want to broadcast my... Oh, this is going out right after you guys walk away. So that's why I'm not going to... So you can show me your name ID, you can walk away. We just want to talk to I'm not going to talk to people who claim to be federal agents unless they can...
I fucking hate it when cops say, I just want to talk to you. Bullshit.
Right.
Bullshit.
No, right.
Oh, anyway. Just want to talk to you. I'm here to help.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Continue.
Show me identification.
You see our badges.
I need to see. Is your full name on that badge?
No.
I'd like to see something with your full name, or I'm not going to talk to you.
It's for you not to broadcast it.
This will be going online as soon as you walk away.
All I want to do is talk to you about a post that was made, and if you happen to be the one that made the post.
I want to talk to you about you guys coming here. Say you make a salary of, I don't know what, low 100K? You guys making six figures? Factor in 50% expenses, overhead, maybe 100% expenses. Talking about burning a couple $100 an hour just here, let alone all the time you guys are spending to investigate something that you know is not against the law, right? Like you're familiar with. So then why would you come?
Because we wanted to make sure that there weren't any.
No, you're
We
coming
just wanted
because
to make
you're
sure.
part of a regime that does this kind of thing when you know laws aren't being broken. And that's an embarrassment, man. Didn't you guys read the Constitution? Do you not believe in America? Like, how do you do your jobs and go home?
We appreciate it.
You're walking away. Because nothing we did is against the law, and you guys are fuckheads that try to act like bullies. And I hope you go home and are embarrassed. You can't even say your name on camera because you know that what you're doing is embarrassing. You know Americans that believe in the Constitution think you're laughable. You go home and you think about what you did today. Go home and think about it.
Tore him
you
apart.
cowards.
Pause this. Is that Dave Smith saying that?
No, that's this guy, Jeremy.
Okay.
That, I can't remember his last name here, but
That sounds
Jeremy
just like
Kaufman.
That sounds just like Dave's voice.
Oh, it sounds just like him. You can tell they're cut from out of the same cloth.
Wow.
Yeah. You can let him fit. It only just goes for a few more minutes. He just keeps berating them.
Drive away. Drive away.
Thank you for your time, sir.
You're not welcome. You should be embarrassed. Embarrassing. You guys are embarrassing.
Good for him.
Good for him.
Good for him.
All right, that's it. That's it.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him. And while we're on this, can
you imagine if the feds showed up at your house because you said something like that online? I've said all kinds of stuff like that online.
Yeah.
Trying to make points and everything.
It's not a direct call to violence.
Right.
Now, here's the thing. There are a lot of people who do make direct calls to violence.
Yeah.
Online.
There are.
And those need to be investigated.
Yes, they absolutely do. But why are you going after some guy? I mean, come on, dude. Come on.
That
video's got like 35 million views, which is a great thing.
That is a great thing. And I guess what they're trying to accomplish, and maybe I'm speculating here because I obviously don't know what is going on inside the heads of these two federal agents.
Right.
But I'm assuming what is happening here, just based on all the context, is they are at least hoping in part that they can intimidate someone into thinking what they did was a crime, to stop them from doing it in the future, and to maybe even have them take the post down, whatever the post was. And again, the post was a direct call to violence. He was just saying that if someone did make an attempt on Kamala Harris's life, or that did happen, that the right would be celebrating it too.
Right.
Pointing out the hypocrisy of everyone on the right, because, everyone on the right's like, well, you can't, how can you celebrate the, Trump being killed or whatever, or being attempted assassination? Man, what a mess.
Well, intimidation tactics are just the same. There's one thing with being forced to do something. Mm-hmm. It's almost worse when you're intimidated. And from what all I've ever read, that's the calling card of the three-letter agencies.
It is.
It's not necessarily they're going to come and tell you that you have to, but they're going to make it just uncomfortable enough until you second-guess yourself. It's almost like they force people into censoring themselves,
I'm probably going to piss a lot of people off with what I'm about to say. But
go for it. I
I'm
love these.
I'm going to say it
The
anyway.
best things that Josh ever says is after he gives some sort of disclaimer like this.
I would say that goes far beyond the three-letter agencies, and it trickles down all the way to law enforcement.
Oh, 100%.
How can you have on the back of your truck the Gadsden flag saying, "Don't tread on me,"
right,
and then my thin blue line right beside of it? Because I don't know if you know this or not, but law enforcement is the enforcement arm of the state.
Yeah.
COVID really opened my eyes. Now, maybe not locally,
Right.
Sure. But COVID really opened my eyes to the amount of officers that were just following orders when they were shutting down businesses unconstitutionally and illegally, and they were doing all sorts of things unconstitutionally and illegally.
Right. Well, I think you can make an argument that locally you see ignorance in what you can and cannot do as a law enforcement officer, and I think that. Here, I'll agree with you here. I think that's systemic.
100%.
Across law enforcement.
100%.
There is a real problem with when you go, like these First Amendment auditor guys, when you go and try to confront these guys,
you're falling right into their trap.
You're falling right in their trap. Don't do that.
The auditors are right.
They're right.
They're right. I'm sorry. I will say it. I know that no one
and
wants
you may
to hear
not like
that.
it, and they're a bunch of fuckheads and
they are
nuts, but
they are
and idiots, and I'd like to punch them all in the face, to be 100% honest.
They're assholes, but they're right. And
remember when I almost made this town burn down because I said it was First Amendment masturbation, and everybody was like, "How can you say that?" Blah, blah. But that's what it is. I mean, and I don't love it.
I disagree. I don't think it is. I don't think it's.
I think it absolutely
masturbation. I think it's protected speech, and they have the absolute right to do it, no matter what.
Sure, but that's my personal opinion. Sure. Now, I don't think the cops ought to go out there and police that.
No,
they don't have the right.
They legally can't.
No,
and they can arrest them. They can do what they will, but later, either if everything is on the up and up legally, that's going to get thrown out, and there's going to be a lawsuit.
Yep.
That's how these people make their living is through filing civil rights lawsuits. And unfortunately, it's a necessary evil.
Yep.
It's a necessary evil. So, yeah, I mean, that's a conversation for another day, but we do have a major problem with all law enforcement in America, not just the feds. Not just the feds. All of it.
Ooh, that video you showed me of them going ballistic at that law enforcement thing.
That training seminar? That training seminar?
Really opened my eyes.
That trained tens of thousands of officers? Yeah.
Well, you saw, here's a good thing. What about that? Did you see where Tyreek Hill got pulled over on the way to the Miami? They drug him. He refused to roll down the window. Or he rolled down the window, and then he gave them what they needed, then rolled it back up because he was like, I don't have to really talk to you. Oh, they drugged the guy out of the car, got him. I mean, this guy is going on the way to play a professional football game. It ain't like you don't know who he is. They get him out. They drag. Boy, it was a bad look. They probably didn't. I don't know if they ever really crossed the line, but it was a bad look. You know what I mean?
You know, you've got these blanket laws like obstruction that you can just throw at anything, and
right.
there you go. You're good. Right. You're covered.
Obstruction of justice. I want somebody to define me what that is.
I mean, it's one of those blanket laws that can be obstruction, interfering. There's a few of them that are like that. They're
interfering
catch-alls.
with law enforcement procedure
catch-alls.
or whatever. Yeah,
they're catch-alls.
Catch-all laws.
Yeah, and I know I'm gonna. I mean, it's the truth. I'm sorry.
It's the truth.
It's the truth. There's a huge problem, in the way that the police have been militarized and the way that the police are trained to escalate every situation into an arrest. And they are. And they do.
Yep.
They go on fishing expeditions. Again, I'm generalizing. I know plenty of law enforcement officers personally who are great people. They're wonderful people.
Yeah, they are.
But two things can be true at the same time.
Exactly.
Two things can be true at the same time.
That's really true.
And when you see their tactics, and body cams are an absolute must in today's world.
You have to.
For both the protection of the public and law enforcement officers.
Why would you not be wearing it?
Why would you not be wearing it?
And why do we have these? And we're going to do a whole episode on these stupid cameras. I'm working on that.
Yeah.
These cameras. By the way, there's these cameras everywhere that you see with these solar panels, and you see them all over the place. There's one right there.
Oh, but we're just
down the road.
We're just looking for stolen cars.
Yeah, we're just looking for
what fucking stolen cars?
Right. I know. And so now you've given the power of them to scan every license plate that drives by that thing, and nobody even knows about it.
No.
Nobody even knew it.
No, they don't. They went up very quietly. And we are going to do a whole episode about that. I'm glad you brought that up.
And it fired me up because I saw the head of a certain law enforcement agency make a great case for these cameras in a town here close to us. And to my knowledge, these police officers don't wear body cameras.
No, they don't. They don't wear body cameras.
And with all due respect, I like this person. I like him very much.
Yeah. I do too.
I have some real questions about that. And so you're going to, scan my license plate tag now. Why exactly will you not be wearing a body camera?
That's a great question.
Doesn't seem like those two things jive with one another.
It's because they're the enforcement arm of the state.
And I think police officers would be like, I feel like Jameson understands that.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
We've had him on here twice, and I'm very impressed with that guy's knowledge of what you can and you cannot do. And that, I think what that shows is it shows a difference between somebody who's properly trained as a law enforcement officer and somebody who is just kind of thrown in there. And I think there's a lot of that.
Yep.
And you're getting a lot of that right now because law enforcement's no different than any other job. It's everybody's short-staffed. Everybody's thing.
I will say this. I have heard several people make the comment that they are not going to vote for the incumbent sheriff because of these cameras. So he should probably consider that.
Yeah. I'd like to hear his answer on that. Now, to my knowledge, the incumbent sheriff's department does wear body cameras.
They do, yes.
So that jives.
They do.
I'm still not a big fan of
like
these.
The cameras, no.
I'm not a big fan. I completely disagree with this.
Chase, if we're not doing anything wrong, what are we worried about?
Well, you wonder. Here's one thing I saw. You know how they caught the guy, that shooter? The guy who tried to shoot Trump on the golf course. Well, or was planning on shooting Trump on the golf course. Woman blocks him in, gets his tag number and description of the vehicle, sees the guy, doesn't know what's going on, but just thinks it's suspicious, calls it into the cops. They get up with her, and the next, you can watch this. You go back and watch the Pinellas County Sheriff's Department did a whole thing, and it's their sheriff. And the words he used is, we were able to get a ping on that tag on interstate, blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what that is? That's these cameras.
That's his cameras. Yep.
Now, again, I'm not arguing that the guy should deserve to get away.
No, absolutely not.
But again, you give the state the power.
You'll never.
Where's
get it
the guarantee that it doesn't get used improperly?
There is none.
Yeah, and we all know how much power we have the state to stop doing stuff.
Yep.
There it is.
Yeah, and there's one of those cameras.
Literally right there.
My house.
Oh yeah.
Less than a mile from my house. So that means if they want to, law enforcement, which they would anyway, if they wanted to, it's fine. But without a warrant, without any kind of due process, they can see when I come and go.
But no, Josh, that's just for stolen vehicles. And
if you're not doing anything wrong, why are you worried?
Why are you worried? I hate
that argument.
Every time.
It's not an argument. That is not an argument.
That makes me want to take my eyeballs and remove them from my head.
Because we are guaranteed due process in this country. We are guaranteed a jury trial by our peers. We are guaranteed to be considered innocent until proven guilty. The burden of proof is on the state. Man.
That'll get you fired up on a Thursday evening. Get you fired up to go do some local politicking.
No.
Is this bad?
It is bad. It is bad.
That is true. It is true that those cameras, the local governing body, either in whether it's a county or a city or anything, has to approve those cameras.
They sure do. They absolutely do. And they did.
So the county commissioners approved that.
Yeah. I would love
I do believe.
I would love.
Don't hold me to that. I want to make sure.
Love
but I'm
for
almost
anybody who had a hand in approving these cameras to come on the show and defend your position to us and the entire world. Please, I invite you. And I will be cordial. I will be nice, and we will have an actual debate. I will not get angry because that's how you lose a debate.
I'm gonna go take a few photos of these things the next couple of days.
Yep.
I'm gonna get right up in them, make sure they see my face.
Yep.
Boy, we are really treading in some territory tonight.
I mean, it's whatever.
We'll see how controversial we actually get.
Yeah.
We should it's about time we stirred up some controversy.
Controversy.
There's not been enough of that since last year.
I would love for someone to come on and argue that, though.
Yeah, me too.
I would absolutely welcome that.
Me too.
If you have an argument for those cameras and you think it's sound, please come on the show and defend your position and defend these cameras. Defend the refusal of the town police department to wear body cams.
See if you can find a picture of these cameras. You know what they look like? Look up license plate scanner cameras. And you'll know these when you see them. You've seen them, and you probably don't know if you.
There's one at Ledger, right across from PNR.
Yep.
There's one down at the end of my road. That's the first two that come to mind. But yeah,
not good.
No, not good. You know what it reminds me of? China.
It does.
Yeah, it does. And the UK, the nanny state.
Okay, right there's one right there, right in the middle. Nope,
not that
one. One over from that. Yep, that's
one.
it.
That's it.
You've seen them. Be on the lookout. There's another good one right down below it to the left. Yeah, right. One down. That one. Yep. That you've seen that.
Yeah. That's what they.
I want everybody to pay attention that's listening tomorrow. I want you to look and see where you see those. There's about, I'd venture to say there's probably about 12 of them across this county.
You think there's that many?
I think there is, yeah.
I've not noticed that many, but
I'd be wondering what the criteria is for places that they put these. It's odd that they put one right down here.
I know.
Where, people come and go to work right here. Maybe
PRC.
people that are not.
Maybe a company that's known to hire felons.
Yeah, maybe a company that's known to hire felons. Maybe a company that might have hired people with questionable paperwork. Mm-hmm. No, Josh, what are you talking? What are you if you ain't got nothing doing wrong? What do you got to worry about?
Now we got these cameras. We're gonna put them in your living room, okay?
Yeah.
Now, if you're not doing anything wrong in your living, if you have nothing to hide, you don't have anything to worry about.
Right.
Exactly. And we won't look at them all the time. We're just gonna have them there in case someone breaks into your house,
right.
Chase.
Right.
In case someone breaks into your living room and they're in there stealing your stuff, we'll be able to look and see. It's for your protection.
Let me give you another one here. Here's another example. Laura will know what I'm talking about. So we chat on this chat program I've been on for years and years and years. Well, they've recently implemented an AI software that is supposed to detect adult activity on cameras in R and
adult,
G
like
rate.
Sexual things?
Yeah,
Okay.
sexual. I think of any. Yeah, but I
Okay.
think it's mostly for that stuff, for people that are either coming in there and trying to,
show their
wank
wieners.
or whatever. Well, me and Laura, this is 4 times now. We've been sitting in front of them, and we're just together. We're just sitting on the camera together. Mm-hmm. 2 times we were watching TikTok videos like this together on a phone. Mm-hmm. That's all we're doing, and get banned. So this AI software just thinks, and I've had an all-out war with these admins on this program, being like, and I'm finally down to the point. I'm like, if I can't be on here with another person, just let me know. Just let me know.
Interesting.
And by the way, where did I give you permission to spy on my camera all the time? Either. I didn't sign up for this thinking, well, I guess probably terms of service. You probably do.
I'm sure it's in there, yeah.
But this kind of stuff is happening all over the place. It's not just with criminal stuff. It's like,
but that's a private corporation. They can do whatever they want.
They can do whatever they want. Yeah, that's true.
That's a free country. It's private enterprise can do whatever he wants.
Right.
Well, first of all, why is it a male? And second, why did you assign it a gender? That's weird. And second of all, no, a private business can't do whatever it wants. That's not the case.
But I would love for somebody to come on here and defend those cameras. I got a real problem with those things. And
I do too.
And if you don't, you probably should.
Yep, absolutely. And if anybody is watching and they're getting mad about this, particularly our Leos in the county, you know we're right. Mm-hmm. You know we're right. Sorry. But
all right.
They're unconstitutional.
Straight up.
They're unconstitutional.
Straight up.
That is government overreach. Oh,
But don't
man.
worry, just put Tim Walz in office. He'll take them down.
He will. Oh shit, they'll be everywhere. They'll be listening to us, monitoring for disinformation, and be like, "Okay, Chase, what you said there just now was disinformation.
Yep.
They are not unconstitutional. They're very much so constitutional. What makes them constitutional?
That's the
We
craziest
said
thing
so.
I've heard all week. I did not see that.
Yeah.
It's often those little sound bites that just get overlooked that you're
That
like,
got
whoa,
buried.
whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah,
Wait.
That got buried.
Yep.
That got buried. And for those that are just tuning in, Tim Walz, the current runner-up for VP under the Harris campaign, said that the First Amendment does not guarantee free speech for misinformation and for hate speech, and it absolutely does, 100%. It's unfortunate that it does, but it does, because, well, I mean, it's fairly obvious that whoever is in power gets to determine what
if all speech,
misinformation.
if all speech is just the same and hunky dory, then why the hell do we even have protections for it?
Exactly.
It's a self-defeating thing when you really think about it. You know, that's what you need to ask yourself.
And the left and the Dems need to be really careful when they play these games, because the pendulum will inevitably swing the other way. And if you set illegal precedents that can curtail free speech, eventually it's going to be your rights they come to take.
That's not good.
It's not. None of this is good. I have a very pessimistic view, and maybe it's because I've been off SSRIs for a while now, and reality has reared its ugly head back into my life. But man, have I been black-pilled recently.
Yeah.
I really
Well,
have.
I'll be 100% honest with you. I'm slowly making my way down that road, too. I
have.
swear.
I've been black-pilled
It just
recently.
seems to me like it's just, I don't know. But don't
I
listen
mean-
to me. I'm known as being the eternal optimist, so we'll keep riding it till the wheels fall off. That's all I know.
If they're going to do it, let's just do it all at one time.
I know.
You know?
Just rip the Band-Aid.
Yeah, because, I mean, the fall of Rome took hundreds and hundreds of years. Now, this is going to be pretty accelerated once our empire collapses, I believe, due to technology and war and lawfare and all the other stuff that's going on. But, man, something needs to happen to reset all of this. I don't think there is any saving America. I think burn it down and start new. There's no saving our republic. There's no saving our democracy.
It's going to require something like Javier Milei's doing.
It's done.
Argentina, just cutting whole departments. No longer, there's not going to be these little micro changes that affect a bigger change anymore.
Right.
There needs to be wholesale macro, get rid of, strip it down to the core.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, Joshua, you want to wrap her up? Let's hear from our sponsor one more time. How about that? And then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, let's do that.
Josh,
Chase,
before we continue this podcast, I've got this package I absolutely have to get out.
right now,
Immediately.
this second,
It's critically important.
you've got to go to Big Al's Pack and Ship.
Duh. How could I have forgotten? Our very first sponsor.
Yeah, and they'll ship it out any way you want, FedEx, DHL, or UPS.
And somebody told me Big Al's also has mailbox. Now, is that true?
They do. We should totally get one so we can be showered with gifts by our adoring fans.
100%. And they'll shred all of your important documents for you.
Thank God, so we can get rid of all this evidence before the FBI gets here in the morning.
That's absolutely true. And our NDAs that we have to get notarized.
We can get them notarized too after we fire all of our employees.
Of course, we're big on NDAs.
We sure are.
Yeah,
we sure are.
absolutely.
And when it's time to move,
They've got you covered with U-Haul rental. Any U-Haul you want, and all the moving supplies to get you started.
wow. They also offer copying, faxing, and greeting cards. They really are a one-stop shop.
We use them all the time with our business in the construction industry. They've notarized all of our construction documents and construction contracts.
This is a service that we both personally use. I ship guitars out and other musical equipment that I sell on occasion. Big Al's has always been really good to us.
No joke. So if you got something to ship out or any of those services that we talked about before, go see Big Al. He'll take care of you. Roan Road in Spruce Pine.
Big Al's Pack and Ship.
We give a ship.
All right, everybody.
love that ad.
I love that ad too. I love Big Al's.
Big Al,
Package
go
Ship is
see him,
awesome.
son. Go see him.
Everyone, thank you so much for watching. Please tune in next week. Like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you like what we're doing, give us a thumbs up. Give us a thumbs up on the video. It doesn't cost you a thing. It really helps us in the algorithm. And you can show your support in other ways too. You can go to patreon.com/theworldunwrapped to become a member there for $5 a month. That really helps us out. Supports what we do here. Keeps the lights on at the World Unwrapped.
And I will say this: I do have some confirmed guests for next week. I'll go ahead and spill the beans if you want me to.
No, let's keep it.
Okay, you want to keep it?
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll keep it
All
under wraps. But
All
we
right.
do have some confirmed guests for next week, and we are going to start doing 2 episodes a week again. It may trickle in every other week, 2 episodes, but we are going to start doing that again. So, everybody, thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate all your
Matt,
love and support.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks for
Holly,
listening.
Matt, Josh, Rebecca, Laura, all y'all. I know I'm leaving people out, but thanks again.